Hi all, welcome to the episode number 80 of Prospective Visa and Education Services News Update. My name is Nish, I'm a registered migration agent, Mara 1568498, and also Director of Prospective Visa and Education Services. Today, I'm only going to focus in one major topic, which is the 485 replacement visa. Now, this particular visa sort of came into effect on 1st of July 2022, not long ago. And it's already creating lots of confusions amongst the client, and and I wouldn't blame for the common ears to get confused about the length of the visa, who is eligible and whatnot. So this will be comprehensive video on the 485 replacement visa, and I'm gonna go through this in a very thorough manner so that you understand each and every eligibility criteria, who is eligible, and I try to mix as much as I can into that the mixture of the cohort, so that there are a few different types of people who are impacted or who will be eligible for this visa in terms of getting the replacement of 485. Now, replacement visa 485 in a nutshell, how you should understand is, if you are eligible candidate, which I will talk about the eligibility criteria in a minute, but first thing I wanted to talk about is, if you are eligible candidate and if you lodge this 485 replacement visa, it is not just the replacement of the period that you were stuck overseas. It is the replacement of the visa itself. So if you understand it this way, it will be much clearer for you. So it's like you have never applied for 485 visa before. It's a brand new opportunity to apply for another visa. Put it this way. It's not the brand new visa application. Of course, it's the second time you're applying for it. That's why it's called replacement visa. But then if you wanted to understand in the perspective of understanding the length of the visa that you will be granted, it's essentially whatever the 485 visa that you applied before, the length of the visa will be mirroring the same visa sort of 485 application that you've lodged previously. For example, if you have applied for 485 on the basis of completing bachelor's degree, you normally get 2 years 485 visa, and the replacement as well, you'll get a 2 years 485 visa. The only changes is the master's. If you have completed master's degree before, you get a 2 years visa, but now when you apply for replacement visa, it reads out that you will be eligible for 3 years 485 visa. Now, similarly with the graduate stream, if you were eligible for 18 months graduate stream before, now when you apply for replacement visa, you will get it for 2 years. So that's the only difference. Otherwise, the other cohort will be receiving the length of the visa mirroring to their previous 485 visa. That's the first thing I want you to understand, so that it makes sense straight away. Okay, so not only that, now I'm going to talk about who are the eligible people to apply for this replacement visa. It's a great news for those ones who are actually stuck overseas. The government initiative of giving you guys a brand new opportunity to actually explore the 485 visa and be able to explore other visa options during this 485 visa period in order to secure your permanent residency in Australia. So first thing I want to talk about the Schedule 1 we normally talk about, which is the eligibility criteria. Validity criteria. So to lodge a valid application, so what do we need to do? So I'm going to go through this. There's a 4 paragraph that I wanted to reiterate and drill and clarify, so that everyone is absolutely clear on what 485 replacement visa is all about. So first thing is, this is for the application. For application, so anyone who's eligible to apply for this 485 visa, you can apply for this visa up until must be made before 1st of January 2027. Ample of time, okay? Ample of time for you to lodge this replacement visa. This means that an applicant who wishes to apply for another subclass 485 visa to replace the visa that was disrupted by the COVID-19 travel restriction must do so before 1st of January 2027. The date was chosen to allow a reasonable period of time of all eligible persons to take advantage of the opportunity to apply for the visa in the replacement stream without disrupting other arrangements that they may have made in the interim, such as obtaining a different visa in Australia or undertaking study or work overseas. So because the allowing up until 2027 to apply for replacement visa is a great way to allow maximum number of people to apply for this replacement visa straight away. 1st of January 2027. Remember, you have until that time. Second thing, the applicant must hold or previously held a subclass 485 visa granted on the basis that the holder satisfied the primary criteria, and the visa must have been in effect on or after 1st of Feb 2020, which was when the COVID-19 international travel restriction commenced. In addition to that, subclass 485 visa must have been granted before 15th of December 2021, when the border fully reopened to holders of subclass 485 visas. First cohort, you had the 485 visa, you went overseas and you were stuck overseas due to COVID travel restriction. Remember the date, 1st of Feb 2020 up until 15th of December 2021. So essentially about 14th of December 2021, because 15th December 2021 is when the border was open. So if you think about the timeline, first thing you got to think about is you got to be holding a 485 visa and you were stuck overseas during that prescribed period. So when I'm referring to prescribed period in this video, I'm talking about 1st of Feb 2020 up until 15th of December 2021, when the Australia announced the border was going to be open for everyone to come in. Obviously there was caveats about vaccination, but yeah, 15th of December 2021. Remember that date when this was the border fully reopened for everyone. Now, this is a little bit of a complicated scenario, and I'm sure some of the people will fall under this scenario as well. If the applicant must have been outside of Australia while holding a 485 visa at some point during this period of travel, 1st of Feb 2020 to 14th of December 2021, and if the visa was granted outside Australia, which become a possibility from 19th September 2020, the applicant must have entered Australia during the period of travel restriction and then departed. The rules reflect the fact that a visa holder who does not enter Australia will not lose any time in Australia, because subclass 485 visa granted to primary applicant outside Australia have a stay period that only commences when the visa holder first enter Australia. Now, this is the important part. During the COVID restriction period, for those who received their 485 visa offshore, originally 485 visa wasn't designed to be granted offshore. Now, but if you are under that cohort where you were actually offshore and your 485 visa was granted offshore, what happened at that time is the Department of Home Affairs actually prescribed must not arrive date. Obviously, in the future application will be must not arrive date as well. But interestingly, there's an additional line that was added in your visa application that's saying your entry will be valid for 24 months from the date of arrival. Similar to tourist visa. This was actually inserted on your 485 visa grant offshore, that from the date of entry that your visa will be valid for 24 months. So look out for that, because if you're a primary applicant and if you have this 24 months from the time of entry is not the time of visa expiry, it's a time of entry, like a tourist visa. So it's very important that you look into that as well. However, if you don't fall under that cohort where you didn't get that sort of arrangement, and you fall under the category where you were overseas, outside of Australia, and then you have been able to come to Australia, then went overseas again, and then this was before 15th of December, then you can still apply for the 485 replacement visa. I know the second part is a little bit, confusing, but the first part I wanted to reiterate is this is where a lot of people need to understand is if you were offshore when your 485 was granted, have a look at your visa copy. There's a special arrangement for you guys that 24 months validity of the visa from the time you arrive Australia. Now, if moving on, that thing is gone. If you look at it after 15th of December 2021, that thing doesn't exist there anymore. Now, the fourth paragraph, which is very important, is for people who have been impacted. They were overseas. They were overseas and then stuck due to the COVID travel restriction and prescribed period. Again, remember, Feb to December. Now, and then you came back and then you apply for another substantive visa like student visa or 408 visa, but you feel like, I do fall under that sort of prescribed period I was away, you can still apply for a replacement visa. So this is the great news for people who have come to Australia, their visa expired or something like that, and then they choose to apply for another substantive visa, 408 or a student visa, whatnot. The other subsequently held visa, substantive visa, as long as it's not cancelled, you can actually apply for 485 replacement visa as well. So, few things there. So, because the main thing is, if you are a holder of 485 visa or applied for 485 visa, you went overseas, there could be two scenarios. You already had the 485 visa, but you fall under that prescribed period, then you came to Australia, now you can apply for a replacement visa. But if your visa was actually approved overseas, depending on the time, September 2022 onwards, there was actually a particular thing inserted on your application that says 24 months from each arrival. That should justify your you're not getting that replacement part, but then obviously you are not losing any period anyway, because from the grant you have that 24 months. And the last one is obviously the subclass 485 visa, and any subsequently held visa is the part. So which means you had the 485 visa before, and then you hold like another substantive visa, 408 student visa or any substantive visa, and you wish to apply for replacement visa. If you fall under that cohort, you can apply for it. Okay. Now, the other thing is for post-study work visa and then the graduate stream. Now, with the post-study work visa, if you have graduated from regional area, if you live in a regional area, you went overseas, got stuck in that prescribed period, came back, you can apply for replacement visa. After replacement visa, you can also apply for your additional extension of the visa. That allows you to stay longer in Australia, because remember that, if you have studied and lived in regional area, you get the extension of the 485 visa. You can still apply for that even after the replacement visa. This is great news. Now, this allows, a longer period for you to explore and ascertain what will be the possible option for you to then apply for a permanent residency, which means securing a job. It allows you a range of stuff. Now, if you are in the graduate cohort, so if you're the graduate stream, you can only apply for the replacement visa once, and that's where it's going to end, irrespective of the fact that you studied and worked in regional area. So there's two streams, remember. The other thing that I've highlighted is the Schedule 2 criteria, which is there is no English requirements. There is still character requirements, which is you have to put your federal police check. And also there has been exempt to the Australian study requirement, the qualification. That's no-brainer there. But yeah, obviously as a part of the 485 visa, you have to compile your application with the fact that you are covered for the medical insurance. Medical insurance is different to conducting a medical checkup. Everyone has to do the medical checkup if your last medical checkup has been more than 12 months. So you'll be conducting the medical checkup to pass the health ground. Now, in terms of the insurance, that's a different requirement, because you need to conduct, or you need to have the insurance policy in place to make sure that you are covered during the period of your visa grant in Australia, just so that you are meeting the visa condition. I hope this clarifies everything. Last but not the least, secondary visa holder, which is your subsequent entrant, that is a person who were granted 485 visa on the basis of being a family member of the unit of the primary visa holder will also be eligible of the replacement stream if the primary visa holder is eligible. Essentially what that means in a normal language is the secondary applicant is also eligible to apply for the extension, not on their own, but if the primary applicant is eligible to apply for the replacement visa, they can tag along with the replacement visa as well. That doesn't mean like subsequent entrant who never satisfied the primary 485 visa criteria and came to Australia, something happened, split up, and they cannot go ahead and apply for their own replacement visa. That's what it means basically in normal language. I hope that 80-page worth of explanatory story, the statement was explained in almost 10 minutes video. So obviously, each and every case might be different, and we need to establish the time frame, the movement records, and your individual scenario. But I think with that detailed information about who are eligible, what's the length of the visa you're going to get, I hope are the information that would assist you in absorbing this new changes, which is fantastic. I think it's a great news for those ones who has been deprived from not utilizing the 485 visa on their favor because of the COVID-19 travel restriction. This is a fabulous time of the year for you guys to start thinking about replacement visa. Now, because the length of the visa, which is you can apply before January 2027, you can also think about letting your subsequent substantive visa that you're holding now expire, and before that you can apply for this replacement visa as well. Well, that's what I've understood reading that explanatory statement and then looking at the Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. So if any questions about this, please feel free to contact us. We are in new address. We are located in World Tower now. We have moved to 1203, which is level 12, 87 to 89 Liverpool Street, Sydney 2000, which is not that far away from where we were before. Come and see us. We are based here at level 12, and Hobart and Canberra address is still the same. Our phone number has been interrupted because of this whole movement from old office to new office, but we should be able to retain our old number very soon, which is 90074409. But at the moment, there's an interim number has been prescribed in website. You can use that number to contact us, or the best way to make a booking is to go to our website www.provisa.com.au, or through our Facebook page, or through Messenger. So the quickest way will be during the business hour. If you message us in the Facebook Messenger, there is someone working full-time basis just to reply your message, okay? So remember us for any sort of visa related matters. Now, especially with the replacement visa, I wish you all the best. This is a great news. And I guess, when you apply for this visa, your intention should be, obviously start exploring what will be your possible pathway of permanent residency if you want to consider Australia as your permanent home. Anyways, meanwhile, these things are happening. Obviously, we are waiting on the states and territory to bring up more news. We have some news about New South Wales nomination criteria, especially for 491, which still needs to be validated when the new rules comes out, which is, it appears to be, there'll be no more ROIs, so no ROIs like last year, no registration of interest. Potentially people will be picked up from expression of interest, which is the skill select expression of interest. What will be the selection criteria is yet to be determined, and what will be the role of RDAs in this financial year yet to be determined, and we'll bring it out to you. But yeah, so it looks like it will be expression of interest, and how people will be selected based upon how things were claimed in your skill select EOI. So that's all we know up until now. But the one thing that, while speaking with the state government, that sort of came into our conversation is the people who are, commenting and participating in the the social media forum, especially there has been a lot of group for 190, 189, 491 in social media forum, where people have gone and put a misleading information. For example, I receive invitation as a engineering technologist at 85 points or 80 points, and I lodged on certain dates. And that created the massive influx of the number of inquiries to state government from those people who's got more points or who's been applying for expression of interest well before that. Now, though that sort of behavior is not welcomed, because what happened is it not only created like extra work for the state government to start picking up the phone and saying, look, we haven't invited those kind of people, but it just created extra admin work for everyone. But then it also created like a unnecessary distress on the people who's been waiting desperately for a long time to be nominated. So if you are in that forum and if you want to take a mickey out of people or people misery, I don't think those behavior will be welcome. And I think state government is also thinking about putting some strict monitoring watchdog or someone like that in a social media platform to actually identify the culprit. So this kind of behavior is not welcome. Obviously, we always put our stats based upon the facts. So you can follow our social media page, our success stories, and you can completely rely on the facts that we put it out there. All the stats are out there based on our actual success stories. But then the people who are actually on the social media forum, WhatsApp group and everything like that, and actually telling people they received the invitation at certain points, might not be genuine. And people relying on that and making a phone call to the state government is creating unnecessary workload to people. But at the same time, people who did not receive the invitation is also distressed at the same time. So I request, a humble request to everyone to respect the state government, to respect the forum, and to respect the other people's feeling, because it's not something that you wanted to make a mockery out of it, because people have been waiting for the invitation of life-changing moments for a long time, and you don't want to post something that is not genuine. Okay, well, that's just my 2 cents worth. It's up to you if you wanted to follow or not, but then obviously there's a state campaign that will be run this year to have a bit of a watchdog to see what sort of messaging is floating around in a social media platform. So look, again, we are happy to assist you with your personal situation and assess you what will be the best outcome for you to apply for your any visa subclasses in Australia. So feel free to share this video and like our Facebook page and share with your friends and family. But I'll see you next time with more updates as soon as things are more clear in regards to states or territory nomination criteria. And until then, I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.